Hi everyone, in this video I will be talking about Canada Super Visa for parents. Super Visa lets your parents stay in Canada for a consecutive period of 5 years. This is better than regular tourist visa. So in this video I'll show you a step by step on how to apply for Canada Super Visa. Without any delay, let's get started. So first thing that I want you to do is that I want you to type Canada Super Visa on Google, and then I want you to click on this link. Once here, I want you to click on apply for a super visa. So in this video, I'll not just show you how the steps that you need to complete this application. I'll also talk about the eligibility requirement. I will also talk about the documents that you need. So once you watch this video, I'm sure that you will not need to watch any other video. So next, what I need you to do is that I need you to click on how to apply. Over here you can read all these details. I will be talking about them in detail, about the documents that you need, about the requirements, who is eligible for this visa. Scroll down. If you already have an account on IRCC portal, you can click on sign in and you can give your details. If you don't have an account on IRCC portal, follow me, click on sign up and apply. So in this situation, we are applying for our parents. You may be applying for your grandparents as well. So if you are applying on their behalf, you can click on this link, apply for a visitor visa on behalf of someone else. But let us say that your parents are applying for themselves and you are not applying for them. In that case, they can click on apply for a visitor visa for myself. But in this situation, I am applying for a visitor visa for my parents. Therefore, I will select the second one. I apply for a visitor visa on behalf of someone else, my parents in this situation. So they do not have an application in process. Get an IRCC portal account. And over here, you need to mention your email address and confirm it. Now click on get invitation code. Now I want you to copy this invitation code. Click on copy to clipboard and then click on continue to IRCC portal sign up page. So the invitation code that we have copied, we just need to paste it over here. We need to type the email address we just mentioned. Now create your password, confirm your password. Now in this section, you can write your surname, you can write your given name. Let us say for the purpose of this video, my surname is Smith and my given name is Adam. Now you need to provide your telephone number. So if you are giving your Canadian number, select Canada and provide your telephone number. And once you give your telephone number, you can click on sign up. Now you may have received a verification code on your email address. Check that. This is how the email will look like. You need to copy this code. Paste it over here. Confirm it. Now there we go. We have created an account on IRCC portal. Now use the same email address and the password that we used while creating and sign in. Read the terms and condition. Click on I accept. Once here you need to click on apply for a visitor visa. Scroll down. So once you start the application, you need to submit it within 60 days. Acknowledge it, start application. So do you want to apply for more than one person at the same time? Yes, I will be applying for both my mother as well as my father. Therefore, I will be selecting yes. If you are applying just for one person, select no. So I will call this family and I will name this group as family as well. Save and continue. So since it is a group application, it is showing manage group. So in progress, you need to click on continue and then you need to submit all the detail for that one person. Let us say it will be my father. After that, I should be clicking on add member and it will give me the details for other person. This will be my mother. So you need to click on continue, complete application for one person, come back, click on continue, complete application for other person, your mother as well as your father. Let's start with my father, for example. I will click on continue. So I want to apply for a visitor visa or super visa. So the next question is, why do you need a visa? Since we are applying for super visa, we want our parents to come to Canada. We will be selecting this reason: to visit my children or grandchildren for more than 6 months. That is super visa. See, the difference between a normal visitor visa and a super visa is that super visa allows your parents to stay in Canada for more than 6 months and for a consecutive period of 5 years. They can stay in Canada for 5 years. With normal visitor visa, you cannot stay in Canada. Your parents cannot stay in Canada for more than 6 months. So that is the difference, and that is why this is really helpful for those who wants their parents to stay in Canada for a longer duration. Scroll down. Now this question tell us more about what you will do in Canada and include states. Again, tell the reason why your parents are coming to Canada. So in this situation, I have mentioned that to support my son in the initial phase of childcare from 1st December 2023 to 1st Feb 2024. I have included date because you need to. So your reason could be different. That is okay. The important thing is that you need to give a reason why your parents wants to be in Canada. After that, I have mentioned the date when they will be visiting. You need to mention that date when they will enter Canada and when they will leave Canada. It is okay. I am just mentioning 2 months over here, but it is okay. They can stay up to 5 years once they get this visa. So for now, let us just mention this date. So this is optional. We can click on save and continue. Scroll down. So this tells you which document you need to apply. Obviously you need passport. Don't worry, I will talk in detail about documents. Just have patience for now. So right now what I want you to do is that I want you to have your parents' details ready. So these are the details you will need to submit. So your parents' medical background, your parents' travel history, their education history, their finances, and their personal details, obviously. Now click on continue to application. So this question, are you applying on behalf of someone else? Yes, I am applying for my parents. That is why I am selecting yes. If you are applying, if your parents are applying themselves, they should select obviously no. So this is only when you are applying for someone else. I am not an authorized paid representative because I am a family member. In this, in the next question, information about the representative. This is the representative information, the person who is filling this form, in this case you. So this will be your information and not your parents' information. So my name is Smith and my first name is Adam. So this is just for the sake of this video. This is not my original name. My name is Danish. So again, the telephone type, cellular, Canada. The same number that you gave there, you can type it over here. So now you need to give your address. So I'm giving my address. So if you want to manually type your address, you can click on manually input address. Give your street number, street name, city, province, email address, all those details. But there is an option to type your address over here, and if you find it over here, you can select that address. So for this video I will be selecting that address. So it will automatically fill the information. See, it has filled all the information except your email address. Now click on save and continue. Now this section you need to give your father detail, because this is asking details of the applicant. Your father is the applicant, you are the representative, you are filling it for your father. So let us say my father name is Smith as well. Let us say his first name is Dave and his surname is Smith. And his date of birth, let us say he was born in 1970. He is a male. Save and continue. So his passport is his travel document. It is a regular passport. Most of you will be having regular passport. It is from India. The nationality is India. So So this is again self-explanatory. So the country code that matches the passport, the nationality on the passport, and this will be the passport number. So over here, let us say the passport number is this. This is your father's passport number, and then you need to confirm the same number. Now this is the date of issue of your father passport. This is the date of expiry of your father passport. I am going to give a random number. You should give the correct date. So he is not a permanent resident of US. He doesn't have green card. He never had a Canadian visitor visa in the past 10 years. He does not hold a valid US non-immigrant visa. For example, this is tourist visa or the student visa. So he doesn't have it, and he will be traveling to Canada by air. So obviously he will be flying to Canada. Save and continue. So he was born in India. So again you should select India, and this is where he was born. This will be mentioned again on your his passport. So you can select, for let us say he was born in Kolkata, India. So you can type like this. So he is a citizen of just India and not of any other country. So no, he's not a citizen of more than one country. He is a citizen of India, and he is a citizen of this country since birth. So when you select this, your date of birth will automatically appear over here. Your father date of birth, obviously. Save and continue. So for Indians, we don't have valid national identity document, so you can select no to this question. If you want to select yes, you can give your passport details over here. So let me select yes, and let me give the passport details again. Date of issue, again the same date. And it was issued in India. Save and continue. So if your father has used another name in the past, select yes. In that case, you will have to give that name. Click on add, and for example, your mother may have changed her name after marriage. So name before marriage, and then you can give her surname and her first name before marriage. It should be legal name. If it is something they call out of love, a pet name kind, that is not required for you to give. Only if it was legal, then only you need to provide it. So in this situation, for most of you, I know it will be no. Click on save and continue. So now this question is the contact information of your father. So he lives in India, so I will be selecting India over here. So country is India. Address, you need to give your father address in India. So if your mailing address is same as the residential address, so this is the residential address, the permanent address, the home address, and your mailing address could be different. For example, where you want them to correspond you with, where you want them to send you any documents. So it could be same, it could be same. So if it is same, so you just need to select yes, and you don't need to provide anything. If it is different, if your mailing address, if the address where you want documents, if your address is different, then select no. In this situation, you need to give that address. My father, let us say he has the same mailing address and he has the same home address. The kind of, this is the permanent address. So now this next question, it is asking, wherever you have lived for the past 5 years, your father, wherever he has lived for the past 5 years, the important thing is for more than 6 months. For example, let us say he lived in Dubai for 8 months in the past 5 years, and remaining 4 years and 4 months he lived in India, and 8 months he lived in Dubai. So you need to mention India and Dubai. So for 8 months you can mention Dubai, and for 4 years 4 months you can mention India. But if he has lived in just India, he has never been out of India in the past 5 years for 6 months. That is the keyword. So if you have visited any country for 5 days, if your father has visited for 5 days, you don't need to mention that. 6 months is the keyword. Let us say he was in India all along. So he's a citizen of India and he was in India since his birth. So I will be selecting 1970. So you just need to mention for 5 years. It is not required for you to give details from since 1970. But if you do that, if he has lived there all his life, it is okay. You can give this detail. And this is where he currently lives. You don't need to give any other details right now. Save it. So this is the detail that is appearing over here. But as I have said, if he lived in Dubai for 8 months, you can click on add. You can give that detail from this state to this state he lived in Dubai, and then again click on add and give Indian detail. You can edit it and you can give from and to. Click on save and continue. So this is about biometrics. If they're applying for first time, obviously they will not have their biometrics done, so they don't have biometrics. Click on save and continue. Who is inviting you? You are inviting them. You as a child are inviting your parents. So this will be your information. So your surname is Smith, as we have repeatedly talked about that. Your given name is Adam. You are applying your father, he's your family member, and your mailing address. Again, the same address that you have given there. You just need to type it over here. So again, as I've said, you can manually input your address if you don't find your address in this list. So you can click on manually input address. You can fill in all these details, and then you can give your cellular number. It is from Canada, and then you can give this number. You can give your email address. So you are the inviter. This is your details. If anyone else is inviting your parents, you can select yes and provide the details. But since you are inviting your parents, you can select no, because you have already given your details. Save and continue. So how much money do you have for your stay in Canada? So here give as much money as possible. So if you have say 15,000 Canadian dollars, give that. If you have 20,000, give that. 25,000, 30,000. You can give as much money you want, but you need to show evidence for that. I will be giving $25,000. Now this question, if someone else giving you money for your stay in Canada, obviously your child is giving you money to come to Canada. So you are giving money to your parents and you are filling it on their behalf. So yes, you are giving your parents money. So here you can write that you can write something like that my son will be providing financial support during our stay in Canada. Click on save and continue. Here you need to provide your father education detail. So remember that have you ever studied at a post secondary school? So you need to provide details of an university college. So select yes. Let us say he has done his bachelor's. So here you need to provide the university name. So you should mention the university name over here, from when till when he studied. It was a bachelor's degree. You will find it over here. The field of his study, he has studied commerce, and then the address of the university. So once you complete this, click on save. The information will appear over here. Now this section is asking about work history. So did he ever served in military, militia, civil defense unit? No. Now this section is asking details of all the employment history of your father for the past 10 years. So let us say it is 2023. You need to mention all the details from 2013. So he has not been working in that period, let us say he's retired, so I will just select retired. Now this section confuses a lot of people, so here I just want to take a couple of seconds. So in work activity you can find what is the reason. If he holds government position, if he is retired you can just select retired. If he is unemployed you can just select unemployed. If it is your mother you can select homemaker. So select retired in this situation and then give address, save it. So remember, you will not be able to move past this page if you don't give details of the past 10 years. So see, I have given from 2013 Jan 2023 June, and I am clicking on save and continue. The system is not allowing me to move past that, and the reason why they want it to be updated. You cannot leave any period blank, and I didn't leave any period blank. I was getting June. I mentioned June, so this was the last date. But see, for this is the latest work. He is not retired till June. He is retired and it is ongoing. So the retirement is ongoing. Therefore, you need to select ongoing. It is up to date. Your details are up to date if you select ongoing. Now you can save it. Now this shouldn't throw any error. So click on save and continue. Now this question is asking you during the past 5 years where your father has traveled any country. So remember that previously we did one question where it was asked that during the past 5 years where your father has lived for more than 6 months. This is different. This is about any travel history. So even if your father traveled for one day to Dubai or one day to say in any country in Europe, you still need to mention that. So yes, let us say he traveled to Dubai. So in that case, from you select from to country, you select Dubai, location where he was going. Country you select UAE, location as Dubai, and the purpose of travel, tourism probably. So I will be selecting no, but as I have told you, you can select that way. Save and continue. So this is again travel history question. So has he ever stayed in Canada beyond the validity of his status? Attended a school in Canada without authorization? Obviously it will be no, most likely. So if it is yes, you are in trouble. Have you ever been refused a visa or permit? So let us say no, but for some of you it could be yes. So it is okay. Visa refusal is something that happens. So you can select yes and give details. I will be selecting no. Save and continue. So these are question on criminality and security. I will be selecting no. So these are all questions like for example the first one is about have you ever committed any crime under the influence of alcohol, have you been arrested driving under the influence of alcohol, charged with any criminal offense, convicted of any criminal offense. No. Save and continue. Obviously you need to be honest in your answer. You need to select according to your own situation, your father's situation I mean. So criminality and security question, more questions. So any association with political party organization means to achieving a political or religious objective or which has been associated with criminal activity at any time. No. Again, this question you need to answer honestly as per your father situation. So have you ever witnessed or participated in the ill treatment of prisoners? No. Save and continue. So have you had a medical exam performed? Has your father had a medical exam performed by IRCC authorized personnel? No, in the past 12 months. Save and continue. So these are again medical related question. So if your father has tuberculosis in the last 2 years, select yes. So otherwise select no. So you can read these that if you have a history of tuberculosis, you can still come to Canada provided you have completed your treatment. In the last 5 years, have you been in close contact with a person with tuberculosis? No. Again, answer this question with the perspective of your father. So you assume your father is answering those questions and answer it honestly. Save and continue. A more background related question, medical background. Currently receiving dialysis treatment. Your father is not receiving dialysis treatment, then select no. If your father has a drug or alcohol addiction, if he has mental health disorder, and if he has ever been diagnosed with syphilis. So read these questions carefully. These are important. You need to answer it as per your father's situation and answer it honestly. Save and continue. So now family information. Your father family information. Your father is married. Select married. Date of marriage. Let us say it is 1991. Let us say it is January. So name of a spouse, so this will be your mother detail over here. So let us say her name is, I'm just typing randomly anything, whatever is coming in my mind actually. So date of birth, so this will be your mother's date of birth. So let us say it is India. She was born in India. She is a homemaker. Yes, they have, my father and my mother has same address, and she will be coming to Canada with my father. That is why I selected yes. She will be accompanying my father. Save and continue. Do you have any biological, adopted, or stepchildren? This question is being asked to your father. So IRCC is asking your father, does he have any biological, adopted, or stepchildren? Yes, he has, and you are that child. Therefore, your information will come here. So this includes all sons and daughter. So let us say if you are the only child, you should give your information once again. So this will be your date of birth. Let us say you were born in 1994, January 1st. Relationship, you are his son. You were born in India. Currently you don't have the same address, but let us say for making this video easy, let us say you have the same address, and no, he will not be you will not be accompanying your father because you are already in Canada. Save and continue. If your father has more children, click on add. So when you click on add, again this list will come, again this will section will come, and you will need to give your siblings detail over here. But to save time, I am not doing that. Click save and continue. Now this section is about your father's parents. So tell us about your parents. This is asking from the perspective of your father. So this is about your grandparents. So click on add, give details of your grandfather. Relationship, he's your father's father. Date of birth, let us say he is deceased because it will save us time. Date of death, you need to mention, let us say it was 2019. Territory of birth, India. Save it. Again, this is my grandfather detail. Click on add and give your grandmother detail as well, your father's mother. But I'm not doing it to save time. Click on save and continue. So the language that the applicant knows, the language that your father knows, it could be Urdu, Punjabi, Hindi. I'm just typing Urdu. So now this question, can you communicate in English or French? Your father, if let us say he cannot communicate in either English or French, select neither. So obviously you will select English. Which language do you want us to use to contact you? IRCC, if they want to contact your father, they will contact you obviously since you are filing this form. They will contact you in English if you select English over here. Save and continue. Now this section, you need to give email address of applicant. You can give your own email address because that will be better. You can directly, if they send you any email, you can respond to them. Save and continue. Again, telephone number of the applicant, you give your own detail over here. You can give your parents detail if you want them, IRCC to contact them if situation arises, but it is safer, I believe, to give your own telephone number. Save and continue. So now we have updated all the details of my father. Obviously this is not my father's name, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Now you can click on this, you can view all the details you've submitted, you can expand it, you can click on this. So all these section we have submitted. Carefully review everything that you have filled. Scroll down, click on save and continue. Now this is a section that I feel most of you are waiting for. So documents to support your application. So this is the document size. So read it, how much, what the size could be. And now these are the documents that you need to upload. I will go through each one of them one by one. So let us first talk about letter of invitation. So let us click on expand this and read. So a letter of invitation, obviously you are writing a letter to invite your parents to Canada. A simple letter of invitation for a simple tourist, a simple visitor visa. It is very similar to that, but there are few things that you need to add in this letter of invitation, because a super visa, one eligibility requirement for super visa is that you need to have a minimum income. So you need to prove that income meets or is above the low income cutoff. So what is the low income cutoff? How much income you should be having in order to invite your parents on a super visa? So this is very important. Let us talk about this briefly. So let me show you this table. So if you are a family of one person, you need to have this much money, $27,514. So this is the low income cutoff. So if you are one person and you are inviting your father and you are inviting your mother, now you become three persons. Then you need to have this much money. If you have got your wife, if you have got your children, and if you are inviting your father and mother and you are a member of five family, now you need to have this much money with you. This is one eligibility requirement that you need to keep in mind, that you need to meet this income threshold level. As a proof that you meet the threshold level, you can submit these documents: notice of assessment or T4, T1 for the most recent tax year, pay stub, bank statement. So this is one requirement that you need to meet. Other than this, another requirement that you need to meet is that you need to have proof of payment for medical insurance from a Canadian insurance company. So you need to have a medical insurance for at least 1 year from the date of entry of your parents, and that needs to be from a Canadian insurance company, and the coverage should be at least $100,000. So these are the two requirements. You need to have minimum income, and you need to have a medical insurance coverage for your parents or grandparents from a Canadian insurance company before you can apply for this visa, super visa. So these are the two requirements. The third requirement is that you need to be either a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen in order to invite your parents or grandparents to Canada. Keep these three requirements in mind, and if you fulfill these requirements, go ahead and apply for super visa, and then they will be eligible to stay in Canada for up to 5 years. So this is one thing. Now let's talk about letter of invitation. So in the letter of invitation, you need to give these details about the person you are inviting. So his name, his date of birth, address, telephone number, obviously the purpose of the trip, where he will be staying, who will be paying, and when they will be leaving Canada. So this about the person you are inviting. But obviously you need to provide details about yourself as well. your name, your date of birth, your address, your job title. Obviously you will have job title because you are earning some money, you need to meet some income threshold. Whether you are a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, you need to attach documents showing that. And for super visa, again, you need to have proof that you meet low income cutoff, and financial that you will be supporting your parents. You need to write and promise on that as well. So so let me show you an invitation letter how it looks like. So this is an invitation letter that I have created for your reference. You can see this invitation letter, and then according to your own context you can write what you like. This is something that you can take as a reference and then write your own invitation letter for your parents. So letter of invitation for my parents, as I have mentioned, that it needs to have your details, it needs to have your parents detail, it needs to have that what's the purpose of visit. So it will need your detail. So see, my name is this, I am attaching my employment, bank statement, legal status, proof of fund, tax forms, my parents detail. My father was born in India, he and my mother was born in India, their passport number, currently they live at this address, their telephone number, these are their details. They will be visiting. I am applying for super visa. Why? Because newborn baby care phase. It would be really helpful for us to get their support during this initial child care phase. As a proof of fund, I will be the one responsible for their financial support for the duration of their visit, and I undertake that my parents will return to India after their visit to Canada, and they will abide by all visa requirements. And after that, you need to also mention that you have paid uh, you have medical insurance coverage from a Canadian insurance company, and the validity is 1 year from the date of entry. And the coverage is obviously it needs to be at least $100,000 Canadian dollars. After that, you need to give your details and you need to give your parents details. So in this letter only I have mentioned all the details, but what you can do is that you can go to next page, and over here you can give like your parents name, his address, his telephone number, and other details. So this is how a letter of invitation in brief looks like. I have made a detailed video on letter of invitation. I have made a detailed video on documents that you need. So check those video as well, because those are going to be super helpful for you. In brief, I will be talking about other documents as well. So stay with me in this video. And if you like my content, obviously subscribe my channel, because as you can see, I am trying a lot to help you. So if you like my content, it will motivate me as well to make more videos like this, and every like, every comment means a lot to me. So thank you so much for those of you who like my content. And now let us proceed. So we have talked about letter of invitation. Now let's talk about proof of income. So this is again a submit document that show that the super visa applicant child or grandchild meet the low income cutoff minimum. So we have talked which documents you need: T4, T1, uh, pay stubs, bank statement. So original letter from the child's or grandchild employer stating their job title, job description, salary. Upload that document. uh, National identity document, you can upload your Aadhaar card if you are Indian. So the reason why we are getting this option, this document over here, because we selected yes for national identity document. If you have selected no for that question, you will not get this national identity document section. Passport, upload your passport, I mean your parents passport. And funds, upload a bank statement for the past 4 months showing an amount large enough to cover all reasonable expense while in Canada. So if you are sponsoring your father, you need to upload your bank statement. So you read these details So you can provide, if your father has some money in his bank account, he can provide his bank account as well, and you can provide your bank account as well. Create one PDF, write a table of content, give detail, and upload that file over here. Scroll down. So since you are applying on behalf of your father, you will be submitting this form as well, IMM 5476. So I have made a detailed video about the documents of Canada visitor visa. I have talked in detail about this video. In the description section, I will be linking those video as well. So you can check the description section of this video. You can click on document video, watch that video. I will show you how to fill this form as well. Relationship, again, the birth certificate, the passport, everything will have relationship which links you and your father. Your passport will have your father name, your birth certificate will have your father name, so upload that document as well. Marriage certificate, your father marriage certificate, upload that as well. And medical insurance, upload this as well. Now these are optional documents. So in the additional document section, these are documents that if you don't upload, that is okay. If you want to upload, if you have employment letter of your father, you can upload it over here. If you don't want to upload, that is perfectly fine. Additional documents, you can upload documents of your father property, of your father, any investment he has in India. Even if you don't upload it, it is fine. So if you want to upload, go ahead and upload it. Save and continue. So I have not uploaded any document, so it is not allowing me to go ahead and save and continue. But this is all that there is. After that, you just need to make payment and you are done with your uh, application. Again, your payment is $100 for visitor visa and $85 for biometrics. Once you make the payment, you will get a letter for biometric instruction letter, and you can give the biometrics. So this is all that there is. So this is your father details. We still need to fill the mother detail. I'm not going to fill that, but I'll show you how to do that. You can click on return to group table. So in progress is now Dave Smith. Your father details, we have filled it over here. In progress, it is your mother's detail that we need to fill. Click on continue, and then there we go. The same thing that we did, we need to do it again, and that is how you're going to fill your mother details as well. Pay for your father, pay for your mother, and you are done with the application. Thank you so much. Please subscribe my channel.